Look, your DMs are dead, and it's not the algorithm, is it? You're actually pitching when you should be doing the reps. And last video, if you watched it, you will know that I broke down my whole business. And this is actually the area that I broke down, looking at all the areas that are important for you to grow your business in 2026. And if you're not up to speed with what you need to do, you're just going to be, well, bitching and moaning that the industry is screwed or it's too saturated. But when we look at the content to get seen, the community where we warm them up, the conversations where we DM them and interest turns into income, and then we've got the offer, which is what they actually get. Today, I'm going to break down the conversations. And this is where a lot of coaches screw things up because they start to pitch in their DMs and they don't look at it like a rep. And I want to show you exactly how to do this. Now, first of all, if you haven't seen much of my videos or you've been living under a rock, I've been in the industry for 16 years and I've seen the highs, the lows, and I've hit world strongman level. I've been able to scale my online business and grow a gym just like many people haven't done who mentor in this space. And this is the thing, right? I got into mentoring simply because I was fed up of seeing the shit. I was fed up of seeing people just say do more. And I was receiving of this at one point before things started to really blow up for me. And now I like to bring it across in the most genuine way because there's no filter and there's no bullshit guru nonsense that you hear of hit 10K in 90 days and all that bullshit. But look, if you haven't already got into my school community, there's a free 7-day growth engine accelerator that is live now inside my community. Go to the link in the description and go and grab it, get yourself stuck in so you can actually start working on your business if you are wanting to grow an online business. It is different to the in person, and there is certain steps that you take. And in there, there's a step by step. If you want to do that, go and grab it. But look, you're probably a really good coach, and your clients love you. Your training is legit. You're in a really good place, and you know what to do. But for the majority of the coaches that I see that still have DM me for coaching or apply in the link in my bio, it's just posting and hoping. There's no strategy behind it. And it's the reason that you go through stages of feeling like, what's the fucking point? And we've all been there, me included, until you have something set up like I have right now, which I call the growth engine. We need to get somebody's interest from interested in us to then he panics and then you pitch and then they ghost and then they blame themselves. Well, that's actually not a good route, is it? So, fuck, why is it that everybody else teaches that sort of shit? But if I'm completely honest, you're actually not bad at sales. You're trying to sell when you should be coaching. And you do this every day on the gym floor, but you've just stopped for a second and think that actually I need to do it different because it's in a DM. And tell me if I'm wrong, right? If I looked at your DMs now, I'd find 10 conversations that you let die because you didn't know what to do for the next message. And if this is you and it's hitting home, then stay with me because I'm going to show you how to fix this. Because inside your DMs, I will repeat, you do not need to sell. That is not what you do. If you're pitching inside your DMs, you're going to be slapped in the face. And that's probably what's happening right now. So we need to change that. But before we move on to that, if you are an online coach, whether you have been coaching online for a while or you're new to it, or you have a gym and you want to set up an online coaching business on the side and you want that to be something in the future as a main focus, then I have a trial for 2 weeks that is £200 if you want to join. It is you get access to everything, and it's not your 10K mentor invoice afterwards. And it's not about ripping coaches off. It simply is about taking them to the next step. I've been there, whether you have or you've seen it. There is so many 10K programs, 8K programs, 6K programs, whatever it is, that give you all the same bullshit and expect you to turn up to a call that's got 50 people on and not get the support. That is not what I do. If you want to join me, then the link is in the description. Jump into my school, DM me the word trial, and I'll get you on it. It's £200 for 2 weeks. You get absolutely everything that I do, and then we take it from there. If you continue, cool. If not, it's completely cool either way. But look, when it comes to the conversations within this, there is the conversations. Ultimately, it's a system. You need to stick to a system. And I call my system the 5 rep framework. It comes from lifting 5 reps. Obviously, that's the name. And we need to focus on, again, making sure that the DMs are, they're not a pitch. They are a rep that we take. And that is the whole mentality of what I want you to think about. And this is why it means so much to when you are working on nurturing people. Now, let me put it out there. If you are a coach and you're not DMing people, you're not speaking to people, then you're missing a trick. And I want you to actually ask yourself the question of why. Some people don't DM because they feel like it's sleazy, it's salesy. Well, if you're not selling in your DMs, then it won't feel sleazy and salesy. You then turn to doing the reps and helping people, nurturing them, moving to the next step, and then all of a sudden it feels okay. If you don't do it because you get tons of cold DMs and you think, well, I don't want to be like one of those guys. Again, if you're doing what they're doing, then you'll feel like them. But if you're doing it different, like what I'm going to teach you, then you won't feel like them. And this, what I'm going to go through today, is what my paid clients get. It's what's changed the way that I do things. It's what's changed the way they do things. And it should feel like it's easy to do. It's a flow. It's part of your day. You shouldn't have to get to the point where you don't do it because you feel shit doing it. And that is what I did once upon a time, plus loads of people that I speak to do. And that's all because you let it get in your head. You think that it's a chore. You think that it's sleazy. You think that it's salesy. You think that it's hard work. But let me say this, right? If you're in business and you're not doing the stuff that makes you money, then you're not in business. So stop pretending you are. You're just saying, DM me for coaching, thinking that everyone's going to fall into your lap. But each rep inside the DMs need to be one single job, and we don't mess them up. We don't skip them. The whole idea is that it's like lifting a load. You don't go on deadlifting and all of a sudden lift 200 kg when you've not even warmed up. You need to do the reps to get to your set, to then be able to put the work in without having to panic and pull something stupid and then probably pull your back or your hamstring pings. And this is what you need to be thinking about. So as you go through the reps, it starts with rep one. Rep one is the warm up. And this is the way that you arrive to people. If it's a warm lead that's come through, let's say, Instagram or school, and it's somebody that has reached out to you, then you just speak to them normally. Whatever they ask you, you respond in a certain way where you are just being warm to their conversation. There are so many scripts that I've seen in the past, and I don't see it so much nowadays, but mentors have given them out saying, this is the script that you need to do to make sales. Well, it's bullshit because there is no script. Human want to be spoken to like human, not like a robot. And Anybody that's done the scripts before, you will know exactly what I mean. You feel like you're a robot. Well, then of course they're going to feel like that too. But the first rep wants to be super simple. And the way I have this set up on my system for the guys inside Shift and what I use is we have a spreadsheet and it's got the reps 1 to 5. Rep 1 is they simply have a real conversation, a real comment, whatever it is that they've said, say the same thing back, say something similar, talk about the thing that they've reached out to you for. And something else I want to say here is if it's the other way round, where you're contacting them, then say something real. Go on their wall, on their feed, whatever. First of all, like some of their photos, comment on their photos, be real, because this is the warm up first. It's just like going up to someone in a bar. You wouldn't go, in fact, you wouldn't even go up to someone in a bar nowadays, right? You just jump on fucking, whatever it's called, the swipe game, Tinder, I think. On there, you're hiding behind life, right? But let's just pretend for a moment you went up to somebody in a bar. If you went up to somebody in a bar and you said, "Hey, fancy coming back to mine," you'd probably get slapped around the face, depending on where you do it, actually. Some places they might be open to that. But the whole idea here is you need to warm them up, speak to them a few times before you go in for the kill or buy them a drink or whatever it is. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Like a couple of their posts, comment on their posts, let them see you, but don't do anything. You don't need to DM them. You just need to warm them up. The point of the first rep is not to DM them unless they DM you. All you want to do is have it like it's an entry sort of fee, and you're just opening things up so they can see you, realize your profile. And if your profile's in order and it's in a good place, then they should know exactly who you are, what you do, and they will most likely have a binge through your feed because if it's interesting, they will. If not, then you're shit. You need to work on it. Then the second rep is the connect. And this is where we open with something that's a little bit more real. So, again, a bad version is, "Hey, I saw your profile, thought I'd message." Let's be honest, that's fucking generic, it's outdated, and they're going to delete you and block you. I get tons of these a day, and they are fucking frustrating because they're so fake. And they send them to 100 people a day. So, the good version of this is quite simply you need to be coming across with like a reference of something that you've actually seen. So, look, I saw the 531 block that you've done with your athlete. How did the top single go? Now, this is the stage here that a lot of people feel like it's too pen pally and too soft. It's not really like the way I want to be with people. Well, what I had to learn and what I teach people is you need to get over that because this is just real life warming up, right? This is just talking about something that that they are aware of because on their feed they can relate to it, and also they're most likely going to talk back too. I don't want you to then turn into a pen pal because that's a complete different thing. But the whole idea here is that you speak something real, and then go into what we call a this or that question. It's a real technical term, and simply what you do is you talk about something where they answer this or that. Blows your mind how technical that is. But you can ask something like, are you coaching one to one or group coaching? This is the sort of question that I would ask somebody because it gives me an idea of what they're doing and it gives them a reason to respond back rather than just a yes or a no or something short and sweet. And with this type of question, it's opening them up to continue a conversation on. And that's the whole idea here. And then we move on to rep 3, which is to diagnose. And within this, you want to ask like a real person, not a salesperson. So a real question, like I would ask something like, what are you working on this in this business right now? If it's something that I could fix, or is it something that people are struggling with? And you've got to try and diagnose to figure out the place that they are in. So for an online coach who is talking to their audience, you may be asking, what is it that you're working towards at the moment? Are you working towards a competition, or are you cutting towards something, a sport or whatever it may be? You're asking questions that are going to lead them into giving you the answers to where they are right now. And that is the key with this. And again, it's so important that you don't pitch at all. Often you'll be thinking, well, I'll pitch now I know the answer. And this is where people jump the gun and you'll get ghosted. This is the long game. And that is exactly why, going back to the other stuff that I taught you in the last video, the whole growth engine is set up so that you constantly get the leads in and you constantly take them through this process. There are coaches that say that the market is saturated, that there's too many people there and there's not enough clients for the coaches. Let's be honest, that's bullshit. It's because people get rejected. It's because people feel like they're not taking clients on. But actually, it's through your poor DM messaging as opposed to actually the amount of people. And these are the sort of things that you need to think about. If you pitch too early, again, it's just like walking up to a girl in the bar saying, "Come to my house tonight." She's probably going to say, "Fuck off," because she doesn't know you. She's not even told you that she's interested in you, and you've just assumed it. And this is what happens all the time. We need to look at it as it's like a movement screen. You're assessing them. You're not selling to them. You are diagnosing them, seeing where they're at right now, so they can push on to you. Well, here's my problem, and this is also what I have as a problem. Most likely at this point, people will offload onto you, and that's the whole point of it. Because when they offload onto you, they are getting it off their chest, but they're also telling you exactly what you want to hear, so you can then use that later on in the conversation and understand where to take it. Again, if you then go, amazing, cool, that's exactly what I do. Should we jump on a call? Far too early. And think about it for yourself. How many times have you done that? Probably those, right? And so have I, when I was initially trying to learn this process and how the mind works. But then we've got rep 4, which is the frame. So this is to reframe with your coaching brain. This is putting your part of the cherry on the top, if you like. So it's like you want to say to him, "Can I give you some idea on that from my experience?" Yes, why not? Well, then you want to go into something like, "It sounds like the real problem is this X, whatever, rather than Y." So they may have said to you that they think their problem is something, and you go, "Well, actually, it sounds like your problem is this." And the whole idea here is it's not saying something opposite for the sake of saying something opposite. You need to make sure it is true to you and your thought process, but it needs to be the thing that's going to get them to the next stage, and they're thinking different to the way they were before. And this is all that we need to do. The human brain wants to know that there is a solution. And when people are stuck, when they are confused, frustrated, they want to know that somebody else knows the way. So the great thing of this is, you said this, but actually I think it's this. Have you thought about that before? Oh, well, no, I haven't. And you know they haven't, because they've just told you they think it was this. And, back it up with a lot of people in your position get this confused, and here's why. The second that you pitch at this point here, you will lose the authority. And this is something I want you to think about as you go through the stage, because again, people get excited. They think, cool, they're on board with me. And then they pitch, and you literally just lose the authority that you have just built at that point. This is the moment that you become the authority in their head. So you need to take advantage of it. You need to understand it. You need to reframe and let it sit with them. Excuse me. And then we have the bridge, which is you invite them to the next step. And again, it's not a pitch. It is not a sale. It is something as simple as, look, do you fancy a quick 10-minute call? And even say to them, I've got nothing for sale. It's just a chat. And the whole point of this here, before you feel shitty and unauthentic by saying that, let me say to you, the whole point of saying it's not a sale first is simply to let them relax with their thoughts, because they think they're going to be sold to. Now, that doesn't mean that you're lying, because I used to struggle with this thinking, but I am going to sell to them. So why would I say that? They know that. I know that. And then it becomes an elephant in the room. When actually, have nothing for sale. Let them get themselves to the point. But if you think about the stages here that we've just took them through, they have, we've connected with them. We've diagnosed them. They are aware of it. We've reframed it and we've made them think, ah, that's actually a good point. And then we go, look, do you want a quick call? Let me explain this to you. I can break it down for you. And then it's just a chat. Of course, yeah, let's go for it. It's a chilled chat, and you still don't sell anything to them. You just help them understand that this thing that you're talking about, or this method, or whatever it is, or the coaching that you have, the program that you have, is the answer to their solution. No, to their problem, is the solution to their problem. And when they go, shit, yes, it is, then you have the opportunity to say, look, do you want to see what it's like working together? And that is how you take them through, as opposed to just trying to sell them straight away. This part here could also be, you could tease them a certain framework or a resource, just like this here. I could say, well, look, we could jump on a call and I could show you how to use the spreadsheet that I use with all my paid clients, and we can talk through it. Cool, let's do it. They jump on a call. If they're not ready, then you just bridge it to a free training or a community or something that's low pressure. Again, you don't want to pitch at this point, because you don't want to try and go for the people who want to buy. Here it is. If they are ready to buy, they will ask you that they want to buy. They will say, what do I do? Forget the call. I want to jump straight in. Cool. Let's do it. Then you can take them in. And if you're thinking at this point here that, well, when do we make the sales then? And this seems like a long process. The sales will happen when you start doing this with 10, 15, 20 onwards amount of people. Do the maths. If you do the reps, the maths work. And this is not a shitty 200 cold DM strategy. This is how you warm people up naturally. You nurture them and you give them actually what they want. A great proof, actually, story that I often use is a guy that works with me now, Doug, who is, he was a perfect example. When he first started, I actually used him as an example on one of our calls that we have on a Wednesday, the masterclasses with everybody. And I said to him, Doug, I wasn't planning this, but just tell me, when did you start messaging me? He messaged me 8 months prior to that. I checked in with him a few times. I'd sent him a YouTube video. He'd watched the YouTube video. 8 months later, he joined. And his words on the call were that he attempted to jump in with another mentor. He jumped on a call. He didn't like the sound of the program. And then he thought, I remember Dean, this guy that sent me this a while ago. He went back onto the YouTube video that I sent him. He then watched multiple other YouTubes of mine, and then thought, I want to jump in with this guy. He then messaged me and said, are you still taking people on? I asked him a couple of questions. We got on a call, and there we go. And this system is exactly the way that you can build this into your program. It is a simple system, but you have to put the time and the reps in. And what I do myself is, every single day I spend 30 minutes going through this. I update people that are on the spreadsheet. I have an automation now that's set up that every person that goes into my school automatically goes onto the spreadsheet. And again, this is what I teach all the guys inside the shift, how to do all of this. So it's all automated. It comes through. All you've got to do is look at what rep they're on, talk to them, and then take them to the next step. It's not a script, but there's a framework. There's a this type of thing, but I get them to change it into their wording. Another super hack for you as well. I don't get paid for telling you this, and I feel like I do because I say it so often. But if you haven't yet used Whisper Flow, download it. It will absolutely change your life. It is built into your phone, your computer, your laptop, everything. And you just talk like you would dictate into your phone, but it has AI built into it, and it corrects the wording for you as well. It's an absolute game changer. So when I'm doing my voice notes, my messages, I do them as voice, and it completely halves the time. I can get through more people, and it is an absolute beast of a thing. Whisper Flow, go and have a look at it if you've not already seen it. So look, the thing that you need to do here is you need to do one rep at a time. It is vital that you understand that, and you need to respect the sequence. It is there for a reason. You need to track every single conversation on the spreadsheet. You then need to make sure that you are following up. You need to put on there the date that you need to contact them next. All of this is the thing that you are missing right now in your DMs because you've got people everywhere. You don't know what to do. You don't know where people are. When you then want to make more money, you're pitching, 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 and people ghost, and you're thinking, fuck my business. It's what's going on. I've been there. It's a shit time to be. And I want to help you. So, look, if you haven't already done this, go into the link in the description, get yourself into my school community, and go through the 7 days. I teach you step by step what to do within building your business. This stuff should be a paid feature, but it's free. And everybody that goes in there says, this, I feel like I've got it for free when I should be paying for it. And there's a reason behind that. So don't miss out. Go and get yourself in there. That's the conversations done. In the next video, we'll be going more into the offer and why most coaches' offers are the real reason that the DMs die. And this is how we need to understand each flow has its part into the next part. And that's what we call the growth engine. I hope you got tons from this. Go and smash it out. Don't hold back on getting into the community. And if you get into my school community, you will then get support from me within the feed that's on there, the community feed, as much as you need to. So look, go and get yourself in there if you want to sort your shit out, or if you want to carry on bitching and moaning about the industry, don't be in there. It's completely cool. Either way, go smash it up, and I'll see you soon.